Welcome back. You're watching Morning Express. Now, drone enthusiasts have every reason to smile. Last week, the government legalized the commercial use of drones, and now the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority says it will revise the hefty fines that have been set to curb misuse of drones. But what can a drone do? Does the government move open business opportunities? Welcome to Tech Central, and today we're talking matters drones, and joining me in studio to just steer that conversation is Kevin Moronge, who is a cinematographer. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, thank you.
So I'll just start by asking, what is a drone?
A drone is basically an unmanned aviation vehicle, yeah, in short. It has very many uses. We use it for surveillance, we use it for aerial photography, among other uses.
All right, so how is it used? You know, because it's unmanned, so how exactly does it operate?
Just because it's unmanned doesn't mean it's not controlled.
Okay.
Because there are a few features a drone has. There are safe features it has, safety features that it has. So, yeah, you basically control what you want to do, and it does it.
Can anyone own a drone?
In short, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Like how much does it cost?
One of the biggest drone companies is DJI, for example. You can get a drone from their website for as little as 70,000. Once you accessorize it, it can come up to maybe 100 and something thousand.
All right.
That's the cheapest.
So you're not new to the using of a
No,
drone?
I'm actually not.
How exactly do you incorporate it in cinematography?
Okay. Back in the day, we used to use helicopters to basically do aerial photography. So instead of hiring a helicopter which charges you per hour, you can actually buy a drone and, yeah, use it for aerial photography.
All right, so let's talk about the regulations of, you know, drone, the use of drone. How does this impact your day-to-day activities as a cinematographer?
The thing that's actually slightly scary right now, the hefty fines, of course, but the government or Kenya Civil Aviation Authority has not been very clear about the regulations because they started drafting these regulations back in 2013.
Yeah.
So up to date, they're still, you know, trying to say, hey, we've not forgotten about you guys, but we're still in the process of making it work. So
2 million shillings.
2 million shillings.
We've just heard they're saying that, you know, they will, you know, think about this and go back to the drawing board after a few months. But we do not know what those few months will have in store.
Because I remember the first time I applied for a drone license, this was almost 4 years ago. And the same email they sent me 4 years ago was the same email they sent me as latest as last year.
Yeah.
So they just tell you, hey, we are working on it, but be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient.
So all you have to do right now is be patient. All right. Earlier on, you talked about drone racing, which I didn't know exists. Let's start with that.
It exists, actually. A lot of countries actually do drone racing. Yeah.
How does that work?
Drone racing basically is a bunch of people that come together from different countries and they compete. Drone racing.
All right.
It's similar to how planes, you see like the Red Bull Challenge, it's similar to that.
All right, so after competing, how much do you win?
It depends. Every country has different prices and different awards.
Is this done in Kenya?
No, so far no.
Are they in Africa?
In Africa, I think South Africa started, but usually it's just maybe US, UK, China, all those places. All
right, of course, a drone is technology and innovations all have their challenges. What challenges does one face when using a drone?
The biggest one right now is, of course, the government, because up to now, this was announced 8 days ago. Up to now, they've never had, what do you call them, regulations and the right framework for drones to actually be used. But there's a time I got my drones confiscated because of other issues, but
what other issues, if I may ask?
They told me there's someone where I was flying my drone.
Okay.
So in short, they came to my room, they took my drone.
All right, which goes, you know, let's talk about where you're supposed to operate your drones, the licenses that you're supposed to own. When, you know, if you want to own a drone, what exactly are they?
Right now, you just have to deal with Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Before, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority was telling us to contact Department of Justice, but now they're just telling us to just deal with Kenya Civil Aviation Authority.
How much does a license cost?
I honestly don't know.
How don't you know this?
I honestly
you own
don't
a drone.
know because even if I was to email, like actually yesterday I tried emailing them, telling them I want to apply for a license. On their website, it just tells you, click here to apply. And someone will contact you, but they don't.
So you've clicked?
I clicked, I applied, no one has contacted me up to now.
So it's still a wait and see?
It's still a wait and see.
Which are just some of the challenges that you face. But then where can you operate a drone? Where can you not operate a drone?
You can actually operate a drone anywhere.
With
really.
the new regulations?
If you're actually schooled on droning, if you're trained well, you can operate it anywhere.
With the new regulations?
With the new regulations now, they say you can't fly over crowds. They say you can't fly near things like military institutions.
Airports.
Yeah, airports, such things. But really, to control a drone, because it uses signals, to control a drone, what you need is, how can I explain this? What you need is to be aware.
Okay.
Because, you know, they cannot control every drone flying. There's some stuff I've done. I've shot movies which even the government promoted us on by the use of a drone, even in CBD. So there are some, they tell you, okay, you can do this, but ukundani they say, okay, you can't do this. So in short, you can really operate a drone anywhere, but they say you cannot fly on certain institutions, but yeah, you can.
So in short, you're saying the regulations are sort of shaky.
Yeah, they're shaky.
And, you know, because these things are being done by the civil authority. Yes. So do you feel like you need to be consulted, the cinematographers need to be consulted when it comes to...
Yeah, the best thing, like I saw on their website, they're saying, okay, before we change these regulations and make everything official, we want to sit down with you guys and talk to you guys, which is the best, actually, the best way to deal about that.
Do you have a union?
There's a union. They say they need to meet with a union, but now, for example, if I'm from Mombasa, there are a few drones in Mombasa, there are a few drones around the country. It got to a point where it was so bad where you cannot even fly with a drone. For example, if I was going to Mombasa or Eldoret, I cannot fly with my drone.
All right.
So I'm forced to drive or maybe take a bus or something.
Okay. So do we require training to operate a drone?
Yes.
What kind of training?
I really wish the government, instead of starting to say, or let's say, for example, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, they can even open an academy or something like that. And
how much will it cost someone? For example, let's say a viewer would want to learn how to control a drone. How much?
Now that depends.
On
capability of someone's pockets. Because some drones, you can use some drones for certain things. For example, when it comes to stories about cattle rustling in Kenya, such things, you can use a drone to actually do surveillance. All
right, so we want to take a look at some of the things that you've done using a drone. They will be appearing on the screen shortly, so that we can just see what exactly a drone does. All right, that is just some of your work. We can see one of the reasons why the government regulated the use of drones is because of security reasons. So as a cinematographer, how do you ensure that you do not draw the line between yourself when you're filming and, of course, crossing the line to the government?
Okay. Nowadays, most drone companies build their drones and they design their drones with fail-safe features. For example, I cannot fly into a crowd. I cannot fly into a building or something. It has fail-safe features. So, for example, if I was about to hit something or someone, it actually just breaks and stops. Or it calculates its maneuvers. It can go around or go above it.
All right. And of course, we saw in your video the distance, because it goes up. What is the distance between now where you stand and how far the drone can go?
Okay, the airspace, once you pass 120 meters, now you're invading the airspace.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm shooting something, I know not to cross the airspace. Or, for example, if I'm flying maybe close to an airport, it actually tells me you're close to an airport or close to something sensitive. So in case I'm close to something sensitive, it actually cannot take off.
How does this happen? You get a notification?
Yeah, you get a notification. So it cannot actually take off.
So it will detect if, let's say, you get to a military base?
Yeah, it cannot take off. So, yeah.
I'm still trying to, get how that exactly works.
Usually, manually, you power the drone. Then from there, you can actually now start controlling it. But once you power it on, because there's usually an application for the drone, it cannot take off. It will tell you, okay, you're close to an airport or close to something. So it doesn't usually take off. And
the fail-safe, you also mentioned the fail-safe. So let's say you're flying a drone, you're doing a movie, you're shooting. So immediately it gets to a building.
Yeah.
So these controls come as with the drone, or is it something that you have to?
It comes with the drone. They're actually inbuilt, so it will actually figure out the safest and the easiest way to handle an obstacle. It's called obstacle avoidance. So it can go over the building if that's the easiest thing for it to do, or it can just go around it. Or if it can't actually calculate those things, it just brakes and stops and it just hovers.
All right, and of course there are different types of drones. Earlier on you told me they have different specifications. What are just some of them?
Some drones can actually carry a weight. Some drones, for example, some drones can even carry a heavy camera. So usually every drone comes with its own regulations and its own capabilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, to those cinematographers out there who maybe do not know the use of a drone or cannot, they don't know how exactly to go about it, what could you tell them? What advice would you give them?
The best thing is training. The best thing is training. Get an open field, just see what you're capable of, because every pilot has his own capabilities also. Because at the end of the day, this is an unmanned machine. So the best thing, just train, know what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and just practice. All
right, thank you very much there, Kevin Muronge, who is a cinematographer there, telling us a little bit about drones. That's where we come to a close here on